Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and we're here with a remarkable woman, Dianne Pettis, who's a family nurse practitioner. She's got 33 years of experience. She's written a best-selling book on affirmations, which you can see in a couple of minutes, and she spent 12 years in the U.S. Army. She's an extremely experienced person who really is focused on helping people enjoy better mental, physical, and emotional health through holistic means, as well as through practical medicine. Dianne, thank you very much for being here.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Now tell us a little bit about what you do and how you do it.
What I do is help people realize how to get to the root of what's going on with them as far as their health.
Right.
I'm a traditionally trained nurse practitioner, and so many times I see people that they don't know, they're doing all the things that they think they're supposed to do as far as their health. They're trying to eat right, and then that's not working. So there's usually something deeper. So I really help them bring that out, talking about holistic health and mind, body, spirit.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, you could have done many things with your life and your talents. What is your vision or your passion or your purpose? Why are you doing this rather than something else?
My purpose is healing. That I know that's why I'm here. I'm here for healing and really to help people with that. There's so much medicine in the United States and really around the world, trillions of dollars spent on health care and pills and programs, and people are still sick.
Yes.
And usually it is something that's deeper. I've taught a program that was for women that were obese, morbidly obese.
Right.
And we would talk about that. And they say, oh, well, we know all the different programs to use. We've done this, done that, eat right, exercise, but yet nothing helped. There was still had a barrier there. And it was not until you get to the deeper levels. Sometimes it's unforgiveness that they need to release. And
usually number one. Usually number one is the I had a spiritual teacher. He was dead, but I read something. He said he was working with a woman for a long time, and she wasn't getting any better. And finally, he said he had an insight, and I've used this insight all my life since then. He said, "Tell me, who is it that you have not yet forgiven?" And the woman was shocked, and of course they fluster and flubber and say, "Well, no, who is it that you've not yet forgiven?" I have this incredible instinct. This is this teacher. That there's someone in your life that you have not forgiven, and that's the root source of your problem. And she finally admitted it was a parent or a previous spouse or something. But once you can forgive, then that's the releasing point. Then everything will start to go back to normal.
I've had that experience my own self. I was a chronic pain sufferer for about 5 years.
Wow.
And I had pain in my hip. Didn't know what it was from.
Right.
Years, and sometimes I limped, sometimes I didn't.
Right.
But I finally went to get it checked.
Right.
And all the scans, x-rays, nothing was wrong. Finally, I did a meditation. And one of the questions, it was a guided meditation on cassette, and one of the questions was, when did this first start? What was going on in your life when it first started? And immediately my mind went to something that someone had said to me that was very hurtful.
Right.
And once I made that connection between that statement and the hurt, it went away. 5 years of pain just disappeared. Wow. And so, I run into patients all the time with this that have something deeper that we really need to get to, and then that ends up helping.
Two of my favorite lines are, "It's not what you're eating, but what's eating you."
What's eating you?
And the other one comes from Laura Huxley, and she wrote a book called "You Are Not the Target." And it said that when somebody's treating you badly, it's not you that is the target. There's something in their life. And so the question she said, and the statement she made is, you are never angry for the reason that you think you are.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah.
So it's got to be something else. What you say, it's deeper.
It is deeper.
And if you can find out what it is, it's sort of like plucking out something that is the cause of mental and emotional infection, then it all goes away. Wow.
Yeah.
So now you're doing some remarkable things, very different from other people. Can you tell us what they are?
Well, I do a lot of classes and really talking to people individually also, but I published the book, the workbook. It's actually a workbook, and to really help people learn how to use affirmations to help with any area, not only health, but relationships, finances, and because that's really important, and it's a process that I've used for many, many years, and I said, people can benefit from this. And so that's why I did the workbook, and it's called Affirm Your Life Now. And there are blank pages, and it's a process. And,
Right.
and you're using different senses. You're writing, you're using repetition, you're using visualization, mind-hand coordination, and just focus and being intentional about it. So
Yes.
it's different from just writing an affirmation on the card and setting it to the side.
Right.
It's you're being active in that process, and it's been a really good process for me, and I've been using it for a lot of years. So I thought it would help other people.
Well, this whole principle of Affirm Your Life Now, I practice it every day, by the way, so I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And I even teach it. I say it is what is called a psychoneuromotor activity,
Mm-hmm.
in that it activates your eyes when you write. You cannot do it with typing or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hand write.
Mm-hmm.
When you look, you see it with your eyes, and so your subconscious mind records it. You sub-vocalize, you talk when you are writing it down, so it's the same as speaking. And you kinesthetically, you move your physical body to write. So you activate all your learning modalities.
Mm-hmm.
So I say everything that is written, it's almost like when you push the save button on your computer,
Mm-hmm.
when you write it down as a positive affirmation, it's immediately transferred to your hard drive
Mm-hmm.
and becomes a permanent part of your thinking. And I don't mean to steal your thunder, but people talk about the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you activate the law of attraction is with affirmations, because the affirmation starts to create a force field of energy that starts to draw into your life the things that you're writing down. This is
And that's exactly what it is,
Yeah.
and it adds power.
Yes.
Each one of those things separately is powerful, but when
Yes.
you do all of those together,
Yes.
it's very powerful.
Actually, it's like pushing a dynamite detonator,
Mhm.
boom, like that.
Exactly.
Wow. So you can help people, bit by bit, address what is really holding them back
Mhm.
and what's really causing them to overeat, things like that. And once they deal with that, then their whole body has a natural bias to go back to health.
Mhm. Exactly.
Wow. Now, can you give me an example of someone that came to you and was right down here, and as a result of going through your affirmation process is now at a much higher level?
Well, the affirmation process, this was someone, I'm thinking just at the top of my head, they came in for neck pain.
Right.
And she had not heard of my book before, but she came into the clinic because her neck was hurting.
Right.
And what she did, as we talked and I got some history from her, she was telling me about, her awful roommate and all the things that they were going through. And she said, this roommate is just a pain in my neck. And I said, did you just hear what you said?
Yeah.
And she said, oh yeah. Yeah. So then we started that conversation about your words and how powerful your words are.
Right.
And I will often give someone on a prescription pad, I'll write down some affirmations and give them,
Right.
and ask them to repeat those and write them out. Yeah.
Wow. So sometimes you can bring about just an almost instantaneous improvement, especially in pain management. But if it's a long-term health problem, then it takes a while. If they dug themselves into a deep hole, they're going to have to spend some time digging themselves out. But it's basically the power of the mind.
It is. And a lot of people just don't understand that, don't know that. And so many times the light bulb will come on, and I like getting people to that, and just to see that light bulb come on, it's like, wow. And I'm just, I know this because I've used it every day, but so many people just don't know about it.
Well, I wrote a book a couple of years ago, and it's been rewritten a couple of times, and it was entitled Get Over It and Get On With It. And what I found is the biggest problem that people have is their ego, is they don't want to admit that they may have been complicit in the situation. Person, for perfect example, person goes through a bad marriage, and this is unfortunate with women more than men. Men go out and drink, and women sit at home and brood. And they go through a bad marriage. And I've taken people in my classes through this. I say, well, now, who married the person in the first place? So you're responsible for a lot of this. This didn't just happen to you like a lightning strike. And once you got married and you realized it was the wrong one, who stayed there all this time? And who put up with all these things? And you knew for a long time it wasn't working out. And you stayed there anyway. So at a certain point you have to admit that you are at least partially responsible for what happened. So why don't you just let go of it? And they go, you're right. I knew even before I married him, I shouldn't have married. I mean, I and then they let it go. So now how can people reach you if they want to get more information about what you do?
Well, through my website, DianneHartWellness.com.
Dianne, D-I-A-N-N-E-H-A-R-T, wellness.
Wellness.com.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.